just past the halfway mark in the Carfax 250 for the NASCAR Busch Series here at the Michigan International Speedway. Have a need for speed, win big in the Zantac Need for Speed Instant Win Game. Win a 2007 Ford Mustang, a trip for two to Talladega, and meet AmeriQuest racing driver Greg Biffle. See specially marked packages for details. No purchase necessary. Maximum strength Zantac. For heartburn, why wait? Zantac's fast.
I need that working with you.
So is
some of that up here.
I knew you were waiting for something. I could tell by the way you were looking. All right, Edwards is fast, and so are guys on pit road. Let's go through the field, and Snyder bats lead off.
Carl Edwards, number 1 on the racetrack, Bill, but number 2 in the championship standings. The gap between him and Kevin Harvick, 443 points. A win is going to help, but he's going to need a little more help than winning at Michigan to win the championship.
Right, if we could just get Harvick to miss his flight, you know, maybe tamper with his alarm clock so he doesn't get up on race day. We have to cover, you know, do that for about a month, I think, to have a chance, but we could get him.
That sounds like an operation for Wally Dallenbach. Set all of Kevin Harvick's alarm clocks for him. Tiny bit tight going to turn 1 right there for Carl Edwards, or actually that's turn 3. Otherwise, he's pretty happy with the race car. Dale Earnhardt Jr. said his car is tight in turn 2, and he says, you know what, I want my lap times and Carl Edwards' lap times because I don't know if I'm catching him or not. He's so far ahead of me, I can't see him. Matt?
Mark Martin in the 6th car continues to mow down the field, trying to get himself back to the front. Like Wally mentioned, just got himself hung up in some traffic, settled in, and working his way back to the front, calling for a small minor half a round up on the track bar on the next stop.
Denny Hamlin continuing to. Hamlin pretty happy with his car, as crew chief Dave Rogers tells me they're good until lap 80 on fuel, about 10 laps from now.
Robbie Gordon's car was pretty good. He said nothing much on the radio until his boss, Dale Earnhardt Jr., passed him. Then he radioed in just a little bit tight. As for Matt Kenseth, his car was getting better, but most recently he radioed in that his car doesn't turn well enough in the center. Loose on exit as well. So a little bit tough right now for the 17 car, Matt.
Tony Stewart trying for his first non-restricted plate NASCAR Busch Series win. 2-time winner Daytona. His best finish on this type of track configuration with a second at Fontana, the sister track to the Michigan Speedway. He says the car is good, but the last third of the corner is the only place where he is free at the moment.
Kurt Busch finally radioed in, and he was very specific. My car will not turn off of turn 4, and this is how we get beat in our Nextel Cup car every week as well. No turning ability. They will have to pit in about 7 laps, Marty.
Well, Dave, early today, J.J. Yeley started this race 42nd. They last took on tires on lap 19, last took fuel at lap 26, and the car has actually been pretty good. Worked its way up through the field. No Rick Rip right now, but they're planning on fixing that in the stop pretty soon. Matt?
Marty, Casey Mears in the 42 car says the car balance-wise is good. He feels like the right rear of the car is puffed up a little bit, he says. Looking for a wedge adjustment on the last stop. Says it's just too tight in and just a tick free on exit.
Reed Sorensen got back on pit strategy, but he restarted this time 17th, has worked his way all the way up to 11th. Very good race car in the 41, Alan.
Well, Clint Boyer started this race in 39th position. They took tires on lap 12, then fuel only at lap 21 to move up to 7th place. They've slipped back just a little bit, Clint lacking some real grip on his car. Kevin Harvick has not liked the way his car's handled in the last stretch of the race at all. He told the crew chief Shane Wilson to work on the front end of the car. It needs to turn better. Kevin Harvick slipping back just a little bit. Matt?
Brian Vickers with the 57 car running the old throwback Darrell Waltrip Mountain Dew colors this afternoon. Says the car earlier was way too loose all the way through the corner. Entry, center, and on exit. They made a track bar adjustment. That has helped. Now it's just way too tight in the center, Marty.
35th to 15th for Todd Cleaver today, Matt. They told him to stay on the bottom of the racetrack. That's where your best lap times have come in the last few laps. So the car just needs more rear grip for that 06. Tomorrow he will make his second ever Nextel Cup Series start. He's picked up 20 positions today during the running of the race.
Thanks, guys. That's the top 15. Jeff Burton is 16th, then Jason Leffler, Scott Riggs, Kyle Busch, and Jeff Green, the top 20. There are 34 cars scored on the lead lap here at Michigan with 73 laps complete. Carl Edwards up front at Michigan, being chased by the rest of the field, including Earnhardt and Hamlin. We're back here at Michigan. Pit stops under the green. Marty.
Bill Earnhardt Jr. pitched from the second position. These are scheduled pit stops. Finally, probably the final pit stops of the day. A pound in the right rear tire for a car that's just a little bit tight in turn 2. That's it. Fairly quick stop for the 8 crew.
This is going to put these guys right on the edge of their pit window for fuel. So Earnhardt Jr., the first of the leaders, on to pit road. So Earnhardt trying to get back up to speed. This is the battle for second. Denny Hamlin has it. Mark Martin is following. Everyone chasing Carl Edwards. Edwards with about a 5-second lead on Hamlin. That's Stephen Light in the 90. And here comes Earnhardt on those fresh tires.
Yeah, he's a lap down right now, so he needs this thing to cycle through. Here comes Kurt Busch. He's going to hit the pits.
He has led in all 7 of his Busch Series races this year, Dave.
But Bill, he's falling back badly. John, remember, will not turn, especially coming off of turn number 4. What they're going to do is put more air in the right rear tire. They're also going to raise the track bar, which is a chassis adjustment in the back. Both of those adjustments will loosen this race car, hopefully make it easier for Kurt to turn. 4 fresh tires as well, and they will fill it full of fuel. Good stop going, and he leaves pit road.
It's a big change.
Carl Edwards gives up the race lead. Marty?
Man, at the end of that run, Carl Edwards had a fast race car, Bill, and they're hoping that we avoid any weather today because the longer we run, clearly the 60 car very fast. They're not quite as fast at the beginning of a run as most of the other cars are. A little bit tight, especially into turn 1 at the very end of that run. So what they're going to do is take a 1/4 pound of air pressure out of both left side tires. That should give him a little more front grip and a little more rear grip. Help out the car all the way around. They're going to put on left side tires for the 60 car, hoping for a fast pit stop under green flag conditions here. Waiting on the rear tires just a little bit. He heads off pit road.
Spent a few seconds there. Here's Hamlin in the 20, Mark Martin in the 6. Matt?
Mark Martin, the 2-time winner, getting a clear windshield. Part of his tear-off was already ripping off, making a full round on the track bar for Mark Martin to try to keep the car a tick on the free side. Solid stop so far. Let's go further up pit road. Nate?
Matt Kence's car is getting a wedge adjustment, also an air pressure adjustment. Tight in the center, loose off the corner. This should help. Alan?
And Denny Hamlin had moved up the 2nd spot. He's in here. He said the car was a little bit loose, meaning it didn't have as much back-end grip as he wanted, but he said track conditions are coming to us. Let's not change anything. Kevin Harvick, the championship leader, is in. They're going to make a track bar adjustment. The wrench already in and out of that adjustment in the back window that positions the rear end of the car, and a 4-tire change for Harvick, Matt.
Slight cosmetic damage to the right rear corner of the bumper for Tony Stewart. Wally Rogers, the crew chief today, on the top of the box, making an air pressure adjustment call to try to free up Stewart. Stewart says the car needed to be a little more on the free side for this run to the finish. AB?
And here's Clint Boyer coming in, holding down a spot just outside the top 10 before the cycle of stops began. Remember, he started back in 39th place. Going to make a 4-tire change and a couple of adjustments on this car and get him back out on the track and see where things shake out for Boyer. Been a great day so far. Looks like the stop's taken forever on the right rear. They have the air wrench brake on the right rear of that car. It looks like maybe the wheel was on the hose, Marty.
J.J. Aley having a terrific run, Allen. He will hit pit road. Remember, they've only taken tires on once in this race, so they desperately need some tires on this 18 car. He just has had no rear grip, especially at the end of this run. They're talking about an air pressure and wedge adjustment on this stop for J.J. Aley, who, remember, started 42nd today, has made his way up towards the top 10. They make the air pressure adjustment and also the wedge adjustment, trying to tighten up that car just a little bit. Dave?
Same adjustments for Kyle Busch, Marty. His car, however, they want to go the opposite way with because his car was tight. So they're going to loosen it up by changing the chassis in the opposite direction, using those wrenches through the rear window. Change 4 tires as well. Slow coming around to the left side. The crew really waiting on there. And this will be somewhat of a slow stop for Kyle Busch. Matt?
Brian Vickers, Dave hard on the brakes coming off the banking. Says the car was loose on entry. It gone tight in the center and loose on exit. calling for an air pressure adjustment on this stop. Dew crew going to work on the left side, get the tires off. Solid, consistent stop so far. Waiting on the fuel, and he's away, Alan.
Jeff Burton is in after that accident he was in earlier where they made 3 pit stops for repairs. He charged all the way back up into the top 15 under the green flag. A 4-tire change on this car and a pretty good stop there for the Childress team.
Very good stop.
All this happening under green, 82 laps now complete.
Reed Sorensen, yeah, he's in the lead. Casey Mears is second. Leffler in third.
Scott Riggs in fourth. Then Jeff Green. Jay Sauter, Michael Waltrip in the 7th spot. Again, different teams on different pit sequences here. So Sorensen able to stay out longer. Clouds have moved back in over the Michigan International Speedway. 20 laps past the halfway mark. The Carfax 250. Reed Sorensen runs out front with Casey Mears chasing. Pit strategy playing out here at Michigan.